let's jump right into this explainer. You know that beautifully crafted vision board hanging up in your room? The one covered in pictures of million-dollar cars, gorgeous beach houses, pure luxury. Have you ever looked at it and realized it's kind of just become a decorative piece? You've glued all these amazing things to a board, but somehow you still aren't finding the actual motivation to go out and get them. Well, today we are completely challenging the modern feel-good concept of manifestation. We're going to look at exactly why your vision board is failing you, and more importantly, how you can hack your subconscious mind to actually guarantee success.
So I really have to ask you, why do vision boards fail? Like, why does staring at a picture of a luxury lifestyle do absolutely nothing to give you real burning motivation? You see it every single day, you know you want it, but when your alarm goes off at 5 a.m., you just hit snooze. Why? Well, because simply wanting something is never, ever enough to rewire the deep programming inside your mind. And this perfectly highlights a fundamental psychological rule that we are all up against. Our brain is hardwired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. It's just a raw survival mechanism. Your conscious mind wants the beach house, right? That's pleasure. But the hard work, the late nights, the stress required to actually get it, your subconscious perceives all of that as pain. And until your brain feels more pain in not doing the work, it simply won't function at its highest capacity. It'll always choose comfort over a distant goal.
Part 1. The power of extreme pain. Think about this question for a second. Does a mother need a vision board when her child has a 104-degree fever? If her kid is burning up in the middle of the night, does she need to look at a picture of a healthy child to find the motivation to stay awake? Of course not. She doesn't manifest her energy. The sheer terror, the absolute pain of potentially losing her child instantly activates her nervous system. She'll stay awake for days, fueled entirely by the pain of that potential reality. Let me share a truly incredible, real-life story from California that perfectly captures this adrenaline-fueled power of pain. So, on a farm, a massive, incredibly heavy tractor suddenly flipped over, pinning a father underneath its crushing weight. Standing right there were his two young daughters, aged just 13 and 16. Now, logically, it's completely impossible for two young girls to lift a 1,340-kilogram machine. There's just no way. But in that split second, they weren't thinking about logic or comfort. They grabbed that tractor and with absolute maximum effort, lifted it enough to save their dad's life. Where did that superhuman strength even come from? It came from pain. The ultimate unbearable pain of losing their father literally broke every single mental and physical barrier in their subconscious. And, we see this in everyday life too. Take a man who had a heavy 38-year smoking habit. He tried to quit for years using willpower, but always failed. Then, one day, his young daughter marched into his room, threw his cigarette away, looked him dead in the eye, and said, "Daddy, I want you to be alive to attend my wedding." In that exact moment, he visualized the agonizing pain of missing his little girl's wedding. That deep, gut-wrenching regret instantly rewired his brain. He dropped a 38-year habit that very day, not for pleasure, but to avoid immense pain.
Part 2. Unlocking the subconscious mind.
To really understand how this works, we need to look at your reticular activating system, or RAS. These are specialized cells located right near your brainstem. You can kind of think of your RAS as a bouncer at a super exclusive club. It filters the millions of pieces of information around you and only lets in what it believes is important. But here's the catch. The RAS absolutely cannot be programmed by logic or passive wishing. It is only programmed by intense emotional realities. So to program it, you have to follow a very specific sequence. First, you have to deeply live the future emotion. You got to close your eyes and feel the reality of your goal, or the terrible pain of failing it, so intensely that your body registers it as a current reality. Once your body accepts this emotional state, your RAS is permanently alerted. It automatically begins filtering the world around you to find opportunities that match that state. And this brilliantly illustrates why it works. Your body doesn't know whether it is real or imaginary. Think about it. If I tell you to imagine a highly venomous cobra slithering into your room right now, right near your feet, just visualizing that makes your heart beat faster, doesn't it? Your adrenal glands release cortisol. The threat is literally only in your mind, but your body reacts as if it's 100% real. You can use this exact same mechanism to program your body for success. Because once you successfully program your RAS with a specific emotionally charged target, it completely takes over. If you deeply program your mind to look for the number 935, or something totally random like a white duck, your brain automatically starts filtering your environment. Suddenly, you'll see a bill for 935, or a license plate ending in 935, or a random white duck logo in a store window. Your brain highlights exactly what it's programmed to find. Program it for wealth, health, or solutions, and it's going to highlight those exact things.
Part 3. Escaping the comfort zone.
You see, our brains absolutely love vague generalities because it helps us avoid responsibility. People will say things like, I can't do math, or I can't make money. And if someone tries to motivate them by just hyping them up, saying, yes, you can, it fails. Why? Because their internal reality is still, I can't. But in NLP, you break this by asking a highly targeted question. What exactly stops you? This forces clarity. It forces the brain out of its vague little excuse and usually reveals that the obstacle is actually incredibly small and totally manageable. Which brings us to the wild concept of the comfort of your own hell. The truth is, many people actually enjoy the familiarity of their own struggles. They complain about being broke or sick, sure, but they stay there because they know the rules of that environment. Success, wealth, vibrant health, that represents an unknown world. Subconsciously, they avoid success because they feel like they just don't belong there. They actually prefer the predictable discomfort of what they already know. To break out of that, sometimes you need a really stark, painful realization. Look at this intense quote derived from our source material. You are a criminal if you are middle class and sick. You put your next generation in debt. Wow, this isn't about guilt, guys. It's about attaching extreme pain to inaction. If you stay in your comfort zone and ignore your health or your finances, you aren't just hurting yourself. You are actively burdening your family and literally stealing from your children's future. That is the exact kind of pain that forces real, lasting change. So, how do we actually rewrite this internal programming? Try this powerful NLP visualization technique. First, close your eyes and visualize wealthy, successful people. Notice how they walk, how they talk, the colors around them. Now notice that you are missing from that picture. Your subconscious has placed you in a completely different mental space. The trick here is to actively step in. Imagine using a TV remote control to edit yourself into that scene. Match their colors, walk with them, belong there. By doing this repeatedly, your brain stops rejecting success and starts accepting it as your new identity.
Part 4. Connect pain to your goal.
Ultimately, we have to differentiate between a surface-level goal and a deep life purpose. A surface goal is saying, I want to buy a luxury car. That's shallow. And honestly, once you get it, you'll probably just feel empty. But a deep life purpose, that's saying I want to build a generational legacy where my grandchildren know I changed our family's trajectory. When you vividly imagine that future reality, it creates something called retrocausality. That future image becomes so incredibly powerful, it literally reaches back in time and pulls you forward, guiding your actions today. So, here is your actionable framework. First, ditch the purely pleasure-based vision board. It's just not enough. Second, write down your ultimate regret if you fail. Third, identify exactly who else in your life is going to suffer because of your inaction. Fourth, attach this deep, unbearable pain to your daily tasks. Make the pain of not doing the work way greater than the effort of actually doing it. And finally, reprogram your identity by actively stepping into that mental picture of your success.
Which brings us to our final and definitely most important question. I want you to look at your goals, look at that vision board of yours, and ask yourself right now, what is your ultimate regret? You have to find that deep pain that will absolutely shatter your comfort zone today. Let that fear of regret drive you, let it leave you eager to take immediate action, and ultimately, let it transform your life. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will absolutely catch you in the next one.